We're doing something a little different today. We're going to... Well, first of all, we got a new camera. Let's address that.
Yes.
We have a GoPro now. I mean, that's professional. It's as good as it gets.
Yeah.
We've got a Blue Yeti microphone and a GoPro. Like, I mean, that's...
We've always had the Blue Yeti.
I know, but like the combination now, it's like it's a podcaster's dream.
I guess so, yeah.
Yeah. I mean, this is great. We don't have Kyle, which kind of sucks, but he refused to do music.
No, he didn't.
So we're going to do some actually music for this episode and possibly the next few episodes. I kind of have like a backlog of music. You have stuff we want to talk about. We're just gonna mix it up. I mean, that's why I got this hat on, in case we get into some rap.
Okay. My goodness, yeah, this is.
And we should get the truck shaking with the sound, and yeah, that'd be great. It's a good thing we're not in an abandoned parking lot or something. we got to do it somewhere random.
A podcast?
Yeah.
Yeah. Okay.
I think that's in the cards. We got to go like park at a park somewhere.
We're not parking at a park at night.
It doesn't have to be at night.
And recording a podcast.
I think we should do it on like Main Street. Even better would be you driving around.
Me driving around, that would be really cool. We'd have to figure out how to stick the GoPro a little bit better.
Yeah.
I mean, it's only to get like a windshield mount or something like that.
Yeah. Yeah, we definitely could, or like mount it to this, like off the corner or something.
Yeah.
Yeah. I definitely think, I mean, that was our dream initially, right?
Yes.
Remember we were going to call this the S10 podcast? Do you remember those days? Yes. That was a great, I mean, it turns out we ended up doing it, but like that was a great idea.
Yeah.
We had the logo for it,
yeah,
flashed up here. I don't even know if I can find it, but if I do, it'll be.
I feel like I might have it somewhere in like
I'm
my
sure
Google Docs or something because you sent it to me.
Yeah, I mean, but our original dream was to be like, have a camera outside where you'd be looking in at the truck. And so it'd be like, we'd be talking and laughing, whatever, and they just see like crickets because we're just like sitting there with the light on in the truck. Yeah. It would have been such a great shot.
Yep.
But now we're just in a garage.
Yeah, well, the garage is a lot warmer this time of year.
Yeah, it's true.
So,
and we don't have to deal with traffic noise and like sirens and honking horns and stuff.
The train sometimes, though.
Train sometimes, but even that's not too bad. I barely notice it in post. So, So I got something special for you. Okay, we're gonna start.
I feel like you've been itching to do this.
I have.
Just because, like, obviously, like, movies aren't your forte, like music is.
Yeah, I mean, the podcast is called Uncultured because of me around movies, yeah. But like music, I know something about a little bit more than movies. And it's also very niche though. Like I only know like my lane. I know what I know, and that's it. Like I don't know popular music as much and whatever. So I'm a little bit still uncultured as well in music, so it's still applicable. But
okay.
But today you're going to be uncultured.
Okay.
Because 2 days ago I was uncultured in what we're about to watch. I just discovered this band. Okay, at random, an algorithm, and maybe we'll get into that at some point.
Oh, we will. Don't worry.
But a YouTube algorithm. I just happened upon this song, and I have two monitors, and I was working away on one, and I had it off to the side, and I'm sitting there, and I found myself going like this. I'm like, what is this? And I had to like clip to my browsers to find like where the video was playing because I'd like gone through other things, and I stood there and I basically sat there and restarted and watched the whole video without moving, and that's like rare for me. Like I don't just sit there and stare at it, and that's what I did. I don't know what to think. I really don't know what this is. I don't know anything about the band. I looked up like 1% of probably what's out there about them, like just the tiniest little bit. And I'm intrigued to learn more about them in the future. And this is actually where we're going to rely on some comments here. Cause like the stuff we're going to be talking about is going to be probably like, there's got to be answers out there, but I kind of I haven't researched any of it yet. Cause I just want this moment to be like all fresh for you. And let's just go through it with fresh eyes and just like analyze what the heck is this? Like I don't even know what I'm watching.
Okay. So you told me very specifically, don't look at, like you told me a few of the band names and stuff like that. You said don't look at any of it.
You did.
No, I didn't.
Okay, good. Okay. Because that's like you to do. That's like you to do.
No, I didn't.
You cheated. Chad cheats on games all the time, so.
But
he's going to cheat at podcasts.
Anyways. cheat at podcasts. Yeah, so I didn't look at anything. But I guess one of the things that I do when I'm reacting to something is, especially if I'm at a computer or whatever, something like this, I would be looking up things. And so I have my computer here.
Yeah.
We're going to watch, you have your phone set up here to watch the video, and you're going to play some other music too.
Yeah, I've got a couple, actually 2 songs by this band.
Okay.
We're going to start with the one that I initially saw, and then I've only watched a couple since. And I'll be honest, so far I've watched maybe 10 or 12 videos and like listened to their music, and I like maybe like 3 or 4 out of the 10. So like this isn't my perfect style of music. However, the beats are so catchy and the music is so catchy to me that it's just like, it sucks me in. My kids were dancing to it. Like
it's interesting you say that, because like, I mean, usually the hooks of songs, like especially in popular music and that, like it comes down to the beats. You could literally be singing about whatever, I think is what people have determined.
Foreshadowing.
Oh, is that what's going to come up in this song?
Maybe. I can't wait.
But it's funny that like you say that it's like so catchy and that but it's so far out there.
Yeah, it's I don't want to talk too much more about it. I want you to watch it. So we're gonna play it, and I want to pause at a couple of points, but in general, we're gonna kind of let it play a little bit. Okay. And then I want to look up stuff after.
Your gum is strong.
Is it? It's juicy fruit.
I know,
so
it's
good.
strong.
I have 2 pieces.
Oh. Okay. Sorry.
Well, you don't like juicy fruit?
No, I feel like I have to combat it.
Oh. Opposing forces.
Yeah.
You're gonna gum me. No, never mind. I'm just gonna cut that. All right. Okay. So, the band Vulfpeck, and I don't even know if that's how you pronounce it. So that's I saw one comment that it was like German for wolf, but that also might be not right. So again, don't look up too much. Let's watch these guys. We're gonna start the video. So this song's called Miracle. Well, where are you gonna see it? I love the intro already.
All life is a miracle, miracle, miracle. All life is a miracle. So you gotta keep on, keep on, keep on, keep on, keep on, keep on like you do. Second line, you got nothing left to prove.
Okay, I'm gonna pause it right there.
Okay.
So number 1, the style of video is interesting, right? Like it's definitely it's a little harder to pick up on the phone, but it's got like more of like an 80s feel to it in terms of the video recording. To me, anyway.
Oh yeah.
I have no idea what those hats are.
My initial like reaction was, it's like a callback to like Devo or something like that, but it's just because it's like a red hat, but it's not the same shape or anything.
Yeah, I don't know. There's a little hook on the top. Again, we might be look like bells actually.
Yeah.
We might be completely like just ignorant to all this stuff, but I just haven't looked up anything intentionally. So if you see something in the comments, just like let us know, because I want to know more about this band, but I haven't intentionally dove into it yet.
So it makes me think that they're in a sauna, but also
I think they are in a sauna.
But I don't know. Like, are you sure?
I think so.
Okay.
Because they have another song called Sauna on this album, I believe.
Oh, okay.
So I think this whole album is recorded in a sauna. Bathrobes. Like, there's something about the vibe. The drums you can see right initially. Like, just the setup is so simplistic, but at the same time, it's interesting.
Just waiting for him to start wailing on the saxophone.
That'll come. Okay, we're gonna start it again now.
Life is a miracle, miracle, miracle. All life is a miracle. That's why you gotta keep on, keep on, keep on, keep on, keep on, keep on like you do. When they play that second line, you got nothing to prove.
So I have no idea what the song's about.
There's a piano?
Yeah, a little organ down
Little
there.
organ.
I love the bass player. He's like right into it. Just rocking to it.
No, this guy. This guy is the one who's into it. He loves it.
Yeah. Did you notice he's playing the saxophone and they're singing the notes at the same time?
Yeah,
It's
yeah.
really cool. And it's really well
Did
played.
this guy just pick up a guitar?
Charmander, you're a nasty boy, nasty boy, nasty boy.
So the first time I listened to this, it's just playing. All of a sudden, I'm like, did they just say Charmander?
This is the one that you were like working at your computer and
Yes.
it started.
And I didn't even like. I just heard the beat. And I'm like, oh, I like this beat. I want to see what it is.
Well, yeah,
but
the
then
bass line
when I
is-
watched it, I noticed the Charmander thing. It's funny. My son, anyway, he was sitting there listening. He was talking to us, like ignoring it, whatever. And he goes, Charmander? Because he's obsessed with Pokemon. Squirrel? All right, we're going to play it again.
Charmander, you're a nasty boy. You gotta pick on, pick on, pick on, pick on, pick on, pick on Pikachu.
What? Adam, what did you find?
Charizard, what we gonna do?
Tape B16. Bring up tape B16. Thank you.
Our life is a miracle.
Key change.
Miracle, miracle. Our life is a miracle. That's why you gotta keep on, keep on.
Suggesting us that.
Keep on, keep on, keep on like you do. 'Cause when they play that second line, got nothing left to prove. 'Cause when they play that second line, got nothing left to prove. 'Cause when they play that second line, you got nothing left to prove.
Okay, wait. Okay, it's done.
Oh, it's an ad.
Star Wars, whatever that is. Actually, what is that? All right,
It's probably Guardians of the Galaxy.
this is a great time for an ad break,
Oh yeah,
isn't it?
Yes.
So the interruption, obviously.
Something that tells me that you have to listen to listen to the whole album or something like that. And
Possibly.
there's some bigger story that happens. That or you're just like there's a certain vibe going on with them where it's like it's just you got to embrace the weirdness.
So I think that is part of it. I think one of the other videos I watched a few minutes of, they apparently played Madison Square Garden,
Really?
which is freaking huge.
Yeah.
And the first like
20,000 people.
yeah, like and this was like, I want to say a few years ago. Can you look up the lyrics to this? Miracle Vulfpeck, Vulfpeck. So I'll make sure I'm not missing any of the words. Yeah, and I watched their intro, and they're like, the guys like crawling onto the stage, and like they're playing some really beats and stuff.
MSG?
And, yeah.
Oh.
And so, yeah, it's I don't know, like they're super big, and I just have never heard of them, or they're becoming big, or because like they have videos back to 6 years ago, I think I saw.
Well, when I initially Googled them, they've been around for over 10 years.
Yeah, and so I just like normally these type of like more quirky bands and stuff you've seen like because they go viral and stuff like that. So I was quite surprised by it that this is all new. Now this song "Miracle" is quite new actually in general.
Yeah, it's saying about 2 months actually.
Yeah. So what is the line? The Charmander.
You're a nasty boy.
Yeah. Okay. Nasty boy. While you picking on Pikachu. So I'm assuming that's just a play on like in the show. Charmander was always like playing tricks on Pikachu, right? In Indigo.
I don't remember.
No, we've been watching a little bit of it like here and there because the son watches it, but I'm pretty sure it's a play on that. One thing I did want to look up was just some of the comments, just to see what people are saying about it.
Yeah, I don't.
First comment: I swear I heard John Lennon is a nasty boy. First time I listened to it. That's from Fabio Piovin.
Is it the first comment or is it the most liked comment?
It's the top comment, whatever. I have set the top.
Okay, what am I seeing about these guys? They're an American band.
Does it say anything about the title? Because what I thought I saw in a comment somewhere, Vulf means wolf and peck is like kiss, so like wolf kiss. But that might be so far off. This is another one. Thank you for addressing the hard questions. Too few artists have the courage to address Pokemon conflicts head on. Wolf is leading the charge as always.
Like the intro to the thing, it said like a Miracle produced or something like that by Jack Stratton and
that's one of the band members.
Jacob Jeffries?
Yeah.
I was like, I'm pretty sure I know Jacob Jeffries, but I don't think so.
Yeah, maybe not. The bassist, Joe Dart, is you'll see in the next song we review that like there's some talent there.
Oh yeah.
Yeah, there's some real talent there. And I'm not much of a bass player, but just like some of the stuff he pulls off is pretty crazy. This song only has 240,000 views and it's been out for like a few weeks. Again, like just there's something about, I don't know why they're not as big as they have 560,000 subscribers, which is nothing to be upset with for sure. But
you're talking about YouTube, right?
Yeah.
What are their monthly listeners on Spotify?
A million some, I think.
Oh well. There's actually the opening line here on Wikipedia. The band gained recognition in 2014 for releasing Sleepify, a silent album that exposed a loophole in Spotify's royalty distribution and funded an admission-free tour.
Wow.
So I don't know all the, like, that sounds like it'd be a pretty big...
Yeah, we might have to do a
big
deep dive
story.
on these guys.
Yeah.
We might have to do a deep dive. Intentionally, just for the reactions for these first couple songs, I just wanted to, like I said, leave it pretty open and free. They have 2 million monthly listeners on Spotify.
Wow.
Also, this spaceship scene reminds me of like Stanley Kubrick or something, like the shots almost. Like I don't know if there's anything there. And also, I have a feeling there's a reference to like, because it's shot in an older camera style, I have a feeling it's in a reference to like when they switch the keys in the tempo a little bit. I think they switch the tempo a little bit as well.
Yeah.
And there might be something to do with like the filming. So they're like, oh, switch over to camera B. Like I feel like it's something to do with that. There's one comment here that caught my eye too. I just want to find it exactly. Wasn't expecting the bridge section to be on an actual bridge. Spaceship. Matt Rudderman. Oh, that's great. Yeah. Anyway, I like the song. What do you think of it?
I don't think it will make it into my rotation.
No. Did you dig the bass line?
Like, yeah, you were right about the beat. And like, yeah, the bass, it did have a cool bass line that, and I actually really like the part you pointed it out where the saxophone was, where they were like harmonizing with the saxophone.
Yeah.
I like that a lot, but, do you know, I say all this, But also, like, one of my favorite songs ever is I Like Birds by Eels.
I don't know if I know that one.
You don't... It's
Do you
literally...
want to add that one to the list tonight?
Oh, yeah.
Okay,
We can listen to
we'll
it.
add that, yeah.
But it's literally a song about how these sing I like birds and stuff like that. But it's just like, and it's a little bit nonsensical, not so much as that.
Yeah.
But yeah. So, but a little bit similar vibes. There's a part like there's a solo breakdown of him just whistling, or like whistling like birds and that. So
it's something. So what I find fascinating, the reason why I guess I'm more drawn to music as opposed to cinema personally, is there's something about music that, like, you can make the sounds from any. It doesn't have to be an instrument. You don't necessarily even have to be that talented at playing an instrument to make a song sound fantastic. Like some of the best songs in the world are basic 4-chord songs.
Yeah.
And nothing complicated with strum patterns. Like the song "Hurt" by Johnny Cash. Well, the rendition. That song in particular, like, there's such simplicity in what they do. I mean, there's a couple things that are hidden in the background. I've watched some videos on that, like, you wouldn't necessarily notice, but it really adds to the quality. But that's a relatively simple song.
Yeah.
And it's one of the most powerful songs ever performed, in my opinion. Like, it's fantastic. And so, like, simplicity
But
can be...
Hurt by Johnny Cash, it's not Johnny Cash. It's 9 Inch Nails.
That's the original.
Yeah.
Yeah. But meaning, like, that's
you
why
like,
it's performed. Like,
yeah.
That song, like, 9 Inch Nails version, okay, it's a good song, but Johnny Cash does
yes.
it.
Yeah.
And, like, so what I find fascinating, too, like, the lyrics mean it was written time before. The lyrics are so much more special with Johnny Cash.
Yes.
It's like, that would be a great song to try to do sometime, but...
I think Vox, like the YouTube like channel, I think it's Vox. Maybe it's someone else. They actually did something very specific talking about that. Like why, I think it might have been, I want to say Rick Rubin, but it might be
He
wrong.
produced it.
I think it was partially his idea. Like, he pulled it out and said, this would be an amazing song for...
Yeah, I watched a podcast on that once, and he said that he was just throwing songs to Johnny Cash. And Johnny Cash apparently passed on this one, and he's like, I really think you should consider this one.
Yeah.
And then he considered it, and so it's like that song has so much more meaning with the background.
Yeah.
Whereas it was written not even for, and that's what I find so amazing about music. And again, you can find that in cinema. I just haven't unlocked that in my mind yet, but. It just transcends the actual notes in the words. Like, a book is the words. If you just look at a book as just the text on a page, there's nothing special. But when you actually read it and you can comprehend it, and it forms sentences and paragraphs and gives you thoughts and whatever, like, the same was with music. There's layers to it. There's feelings. The more you know an artist, are you the type of person that, like, the more you research an artist and you like them, that you, like, actually start liking their music more?
I mean, it's happened.
Yeah.
I feel like Spotify has kind of killed that for me, because Spotify, I get to be, like, so picky and choosy in that with all my music. Before, like, when I used to, like, buy CDs, it's like you listen to the album. Just put the whole album on, you'd listen through it, and it'd be like some CDs you'd be like, okay, let's just wait for the good song to get to it. And some CDs, you fall in love with them, and you're just like, kind of like, what was that about? And actually, there's a band I was really into for a long time, Switchfoot. They put out an album, Fading West, and they actually did a documentary, like, going along with, like, while they're writing the album. Yeah. And it's pretty interesting because they go to they do it's during, like, a partial tour, like partial world tour or something like that, and so you see where they got inspiration for a couple songs and stuff while they were, like, traveling and all that. So it's I really liked it, and, like, that's probably the most deep dive I've gotten to a band. Yeah.
That's where I'll deep dive a band way more than I'll deep dive a show or a movie.
Yeah.
And it's not so much that I prefer music over cinema. It's just music is also easier for me to consume in terms of like,
Yeah.
I'll listen to music on the way to work and at
Yeah.
work and if I don't want to hear my kids, you know. But yeah, so all right, Vulfpeck out of 10 Vulfs.
Oh, this is another thing. I feel like we have to differentiate this because we've done this. You do this in the podcast a lot, where it's like you have to have hard numbers on stuff.
Yeah, I do. Yeah.
I can't do it.
Okay, that's fine.
With a lot of things. I mean,
Is it above 5 or below 5 out of 10?
ooh,
That's what I'm looking for.
I can't do it off one view.
Okay, fair enough.
I mean, I actually no. I'll say above. I am when it comes to like art and stuff like that. I am one to embrace the weirdness.
Okay.
So I liked it. I did like all of it. So.
To be determined.
Yes. Yeah.
Okay, I gotta roll this window up. It's cold. Just leave the garage door closed and run the truck. Podcast will end horribly. Kyle will have to come over and scrape the camera off the dash.
Jeez.
Upload it.
That got dark really quick.
I got another song by them.
Okay.
So we're gonna get ready to do it.
Yeah.
Okay.
Or do you want to cut in? I like birds.
I'm good with it. I'm good either way.
Okay. I don't know if there's a music video for it actually.
Well, we're gonna put one on. I gotta type this sideways. I like birds eels.
Yeah.
This one, probably.
No, that looks like a fan made one. Yeah, I don't think there's a. Oh, there's a Royal Albert Hall. He put that whole concert on Spotify. It's a really good one. But,
Okay. Let's just start into this one here. Ad. Speaking of ads, this is a great time to bring in our next ad.
oh yeah.
Okay, starting.
Yeah.
Is this ready?
Yeah.
I can't look at the rocket launch, the trophy wives of the astronauts, and I won't listen to their words, 'cause I like birds.
His voice reminds me of someone.
You've probably heard his music before.
Care for walking downtown, crazy auto car gonna mow me down.
Talking about simple music, like this is a really simple song.
Cows in a herd, well I like birds.
Definitely want to throw an F word in there. Does that come up?
No,
Because it sounds like the timing of that.
unless I've only ever listened to the clean version of this song. I don't think there's.
I can't stand in line at the store. The mean little people are such a bore. But it's alright if you act like a turd, 'cause I like birds.
This fan-made video makes it a lot better, or not makes it a lot better, but it's
If you're
Adds to it.
that's
on a search, I've got a feeder for you to perch on. If you're small and on a search,
very like.
a feeder for you to perch on.
I just realized you might be hearing something different because we only have one half of the.
Yeah, it's true. We should probably adjust that.
But it's like he whistles like a bird melody in that.
Yeah.
In it.
Yeah, I can hear the word. I can hear it flirting. Okay. Well, I'm slightly more cultured with eels now. It's yeah, it was interesting. It was very simple. Like it.
Yeah.
It reminds me a little bit of actually the singer for Switchfoot, John
Foreman.
John Foreman. Kind of a little bit of his vibe in his solo projects, doesn't it? Have a little bit of that like
Well, like very like acoustic heavy. But
heavy,
but that's
a common style. But
yeah. But that's he's not always acoustic heavy like
okay,
that. It's just
that's just the song.
Yeah.
Okay. Yeah. No, it's good. I mean,
but like the word turd is in that song.
yeah, and so I'm not even joking. There is an entire Spotify artist that every single song he's put out, and he's put out albums over like decades, is about poop. Every single song. I just gotta like pull up, just like talking about turds. I just don't remember the name of them. I just want for people to listen to them. They're not even that good at music, but I found myself on loop listening to this guy, and I don't know why. It just Poopy Man, I think it is. No, Toilet Bowl Cleaners. No, that's not them either. It might be them.
You know I wipe really hard.
Oh my goodness.
Okay, it's the Toilet Bowl Cleaners. He has like millions of listens on his songs. But every single song is about poop, pee, or going to the bathroom. And like he even jokes, like he's just like, I find it funny. I've been making this music for years. I even looked into this guy years ago, and still farting, pooping, puking, and peeing. Oh jeez, his album cover. This guy, he like apparently he like was able to quit his job to make enough money, just putting out poop music. But like, there's something so cool about that, isn't there?
Yeah.
I'd be willing to be the poop guy.
No, I don't. Like, I don't know if I'd be willing to be the poop guy. I have a decent job right now.
You kind of deal with poop on another level. But...
Yes. Oh, Frank.
You're the poop guy either way.
That's
Come
so...
on.
Right through.
Oh, oops, I just started the
Nail
music
is
again.
rubbing up against my poopy butt cheek.
I just heard the words poopy butt cheeks. Like, no, I wouldn't be singing.
He said my... So, obviously, people listening couldn't hear it at the exact same time. I'll have to try to time the edit, but it started again, and it was my fingernail is scraping up against my poopy butt cheek as he's wiping his butt. But anyway, it's a terribly immature artist, but it's there's something so funny and like just like innocent about that also. Like he's literally just singing about poop every song he writes. Some of the tunes are kind of catchy. I found myself like listening for not hours, but like minutes listening to this guy, like 20, 30 minutes. Just
yeah, you gotta be curious about him when you find him. But
check him out. We should like bring Kyle in and have him. He would not like that.
No, he wouldn't. But like that, like you have to think of yourself as a comedian, not a.
Oh yeah, for sure.
I wouldn't be able to like do that sincerely unless I thought I was like a comedian.
Yeah, yeah, fair enough. But I mean, I like Bird's song. I mean, there's a comedic value to that too. That felt more. I don't know anything about Eels as the artist, but that felt more of just like a funny song to get out there as opposed to like an artistic expression.
Yeah. Yes, I would say probably. I'm like, yeah, but he's also a bit deeper than that as well.
Yeah, probably. Yeah. So I'll definitely have to check him out.
All right.
Is it a band or just a solo artist? Or
he always goes by Eels, but it's he just calls him. It's what's his name? Mark Rupert Everett, I think.
Okay.
Or Mr. E. So.
Okay. Yeah, that was great. I liked it. I'm definitely gonna have to dig into this guy a little bit. So.
All right.
Sorry to bring up the poop guy, but I mean.
That's the weirdest tangent we've ever. And
I
we're
know,
not
but,
known
like-
for going on tangents either.
No,
but,
maybe we need to though.
but that was out there.
Well, it's anyway. Maybe we'll. If this video gets 25 likes, we'll do a podcast on the poop songs. For us,
Okay.
25 likes is a lot, so
That
that
is
would be
a lot.
great. So, I'm setting the bar high.
Okay.
Right? Okay.
Okay, so we're going back to Vulfpeck.
We're going back to Vulfpeck. So this song is called Deantown. For up until like tonight,
Deantown?
Deantown. Up until tonight, I thought it was Dean Martin. I don't know why. I
It
just
makes me think of Dean from Community.
Yeah, maybe. Yeah. So this one is. I'm just gonna get through the ad here.
Ergonomic chairs.
This guy's ready to do it. He looks like Jorge Masvidal, UFC fighter.
Okay.
Back when he had short hair. This guy's
Wait.
ready to do it too. And Lampshade, by the looks of it, it's not. But
They have two guys playing drums.
well, you can't. Yeah, you'd be
Oh.
able to do that. I don't know why they have to.
Is that cat in the background?
I didn't notice. I love the bass kick though.
There's a cat up there.
Yeah, this guy's ready to do it. I could sit there and play that all day. Like just play along to that.
See, drummer one and the organist, are they related?
I don't know. The timing of them collectively playing here is fantastic.
Yeah.
Like there's so much skill involved in that.
Yeah. Never mind. None of them are related. I don't think.
I'm a drummer and I'm not sure what that is. It looks like a lampshade. If it is a lampshade, awesome to them, but it's just like some type of bell chime thing. That's hard to do.
Yeah.
You've played bass, like to
Yeah.
keep that consistent timing, that is super difficult. I don't know where the clap comes in. I think that's post. Admin post.
Is he not clapping? Guitarist?
Oh,
Oh.
no. I love their camera angles too. Like it just makes you want to watch it. Like
Yeah. I could listen to that. Oh, like
Yeah.
that would make it into my rotation.
yeah. So that was the second song I listened to
Yeah.
by them, and I'm like, who the heck are these guys? I like them
Yeah.
a lot. After that point, at which I only found a couple of songs. There is one more in particular. There's I don't remember what it's called. I wrote it down because I didn't want to forget, and just in case we had time. But I think it's called Back Pocket, and there's two kids dancing in it, and like they do a fantastic job at it, and like it's a really good song. We don't have to do that one tonight, but it is a really good one to watch. So, yeah, Vulfpeck. I mean, we did a couple songs with them. Like, you're intrigued, right?
Yeah.
There's something interesting about them. I don't know much about them. Maybe we're out of the loop for not knowing them, but like, I like them so far.
Yeah. I'd
Out
be,
of 10?
I would. I don't know. I feel like I'd have to go through an album or something and just listen to it, or even like Spotify has like the top 10 songs or whatever. Go through that. Do you use Spotify?
Yeah,
Okay.
exclusively for music. I guess YouTube, but like I don't have music anywhere else.
Oh, okay.
Spotify.
Yeah.
That's my main place. Yeah. We should probably get this podcast on there at some point.
I'm going to be talking about them a lot. So,
Well, maybe we just need to bite the bullet and do that. But yeah, no. Just to wrap up on Vulfpeck, though, like there is something to be said, though. So I don't know how you are with like, would you studied in school or things like that? Did you use music ever, or do you rather not have anything on in the background if you're like trying to? Like, what kind of music do you have playing if you're just like reading something or like writing or something?
Actually, yeah, the little section I have planned out, I actually mentioned this.
Okay.
Because
we can go through that.
I can talk about it, but I would listen to movie soundtracks because I always heard like you want something instrumental, not no lyrics and that. So, and I heard that like either like classical music or like like symphony. Music and that like would be really good. So I'd listen to like a lot of John Williams soundtracks and stuff like that. So yeah.
The interesting thing for me, so like I love this is like funk.
Yeah.
Let's call this like a funk with an older style with some modern instrument. Like I don't know I don't even know what the style I'd call this, but I love this type of music to like listen to in one-offs. Like I'll sit there and I like watching it. Like I love seeing them play it and like, cause I play a little bit of music, so like I can relate to it a bit. But if I had this on all the time, I'd go nuts. Like if it was just on in the background playing after like a half an hour of just like this music over and over, it would really get to me. For the same reason classical music gets to me. I don't know why.
Oh, really?
I
when you said that, like, oh yeah, it would get to me. I was like, yeah, I feel the same way actually. But classical music, no, I don't feel the same way. Like I could have that playing in the background a lot. So
I don't know what it is, but my brother's the same way, and he thinks, and he had a good point. He thinks there's something about if you can't predict when you're listening to it, you can't predict the next parts of the song. It's for him and I, we like, because classical music, the timing is a little bit, and this is very uneducated, but the timing feels a little bit fluid compared to like moderns, like boom, 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 like the beats. And it goes quiet and then back up in volume. There's a lot going on in classical music, and I can appreciate it for that. So I don't hate classical music. I just can't find I can't listen to it. If I could, at night, if I close my eyes and put my earbuds in, like I focus on it, I could probably listen to it and enjoy it. But if it's in the background, it's kind of like one of the most annoying things in life for me is music that's just quietly playing. I can't hear it very well.
Oh, really?
I hate that so much because I'd rather either like hear it or it's off. Like when you just hear a little bit of it, it starts to drive me nuts because I'm like, what song is this? And you think you got the beat, and then all of a sudden like you hear it a little bit better and you don't have it. You're like, wait, what am I listening to? So there's things like that. And so when classical music tends to dip and a little bit, it kind of throws me off. I think it's just my lack of sophistication with music probably is what it is, but it's like I just don't understand a lot of that type of music, so I can't predict it. I can't understand it very well. Whereas like, straight beats like these songs, like this isn't my favorite type of music, but this type of music is a little easier to listen to in one-offs, but then at the same time it also gets extremely repetitive. So I'm oddly particular with music, like as you can probably tell, but at the same time I like all genres in general, but I think most people for the most part do.
Yeah.
Anyway, Vulfpeck.
Cool.
Vulfpeck. I'm probably pronouncing them wrong.
I looked it up, and looked up like name origin, and you were right about it's a Vulfpeck, like a kiss.
Oh, okay.
Yep.
Wolf Kiss.
Yeah.
That's a metal band. Wolf Kiss. It's got to be. There's one out there, I'm sure. If not, we should make one.
No, I'm not into
From
making a
this
metal
truck.
band. No. Like, the stock of the guitar out the window.
I'll play lefty.
Someone, Kyle in the back with the drum kit. Yeah.
just like Ray, the drums like Ray here, and you're just playing the 2 beats.
His face right there.
And every so often it's he just shuts the window, open and closes the window and make a sound, and or just drumming on tires.
Oh yeah, those.
Yeah. Different size tires. It's like Tom's tractor tire to the truck tire.
Don't think that would.
It probably wouldn't.
No.
Why don't we talk about? So you mentioned some stuff about algorithms.
Yeah. So you've hit on a few things already. No, but it ties everything together really well. So I was really curious about, I've been listening to podcasts a lot, particularly Stuff You Should Know.
Okay.
And I actually looked it up when we talked about doing this episode, how does this, if they had done an episode on it, how does the Spotify algorithm recommend music to people and stuff. As far as I could tell, they didn't do one, but I only searched up in their library Spotify, so maybe if I'd done recommendation or something like that, they might have done it based on something else. But so yeah, I kind of was inspired by them. I want to know how it works. That's a good point. This is uncomfortable. I looked up a few videos on YouTube. I Googled it and all that. I actually found a video with the creator he's self-proclaimed. He says he's the creator of the Spotify recommendation algorithm.
Oh, okay.
His name's Eric Bernhardsen. He's Swedish. So yeah, it was an 8-minute interview. He was talking about all kinds. It was for a technology show or something like that he was part of and all that, or software show, and so he's talking about matrices and all this, and it was just this is way over my head. I did gather some stuff from it, and actually along with reading the other stuff, I kind of figured it out. But it's kind of wild, because I was looking up, do you ever go on your Spotify homepage and it shows this mix is recommended for you? So it's so there's a bunch of different mixes that Spotify.
Discover is the one I've noticed, Discovery Weekly or
Discover Weekly is specifically the recommendation that uses these 3 algorithms that I'm going to talk about. But but there's other recommendations. So there's you'll get if you're really into Vulfpeck, there's this is Vulfpeck playlist that Spotify curates.
Yeah.
And that one's generally the same for everybody. Same with they have ones that are genres. There's ones that are kind of vibes, happy mix or chill mix.
Moods.
Moods. There we go. I'm getting warm in here. I gotta put my window down on this side. Basically, what this guy talked about, he said he drew a lot of inspiration from Netflix, because Netflix had a rating system, or it had a recommendation system, but it was based on ratings. So each user would give ratings to movies, and then based on your ratings, Netflix would recommend movies. But the difference that he had to go on was you don't rate music. Normal people, Adam, don't rate music.
I beg to differ, but continue.
So he said he started this about 12 years ago or something. He also mentioned he's no longer with Spotify. He left. So I guess since then it's probably changed a little bit, but he basically built the shell of it. And he said he had to do it kind of in his own time and all that, until he had something that was halfway there, and then took it to Spotify and was we need a recommendation system. That's what's going to set us apart and all of that. And like he brought them this software that he developed. What it does is, again, with the matrices, I had to like go back to like my grade 11 math to figure out what it was. But he says it's like a matrix that's about however many users there are, Spotify users are, in columns, and then however many songs there are in Spotify's library in rows. So what it does is it looks at your column and it shows, say, you play this song so many times. We'll say you listen to Taylor Swift all the time, and you listen to Ed Sheeran all the time. So it creates like these hotspots where like the two, like the song and the user meet, and it kind of creates this profile of like, this is what you like. And then what it does is it goes and finds a user who has very similar tastes, who probably listens to Taylor Swift and Ed Sheeran just as much as you do.
Yeah.
And then what it does is it looks at the differences, and it sees that. So say, compared to me, I listen to Taylor Swift and Ed Sheeran all the time, but I also listen to Rihanna a little bit. So then it says like, this guy likes these 3 artists. I bet this guy who likes these 2 would really like the 3rd one that this guy listens to.
Yeah. And I suppose it would probably do that not just with the artists, but the songs themselves.
The songs themselves, yeah.
So there'd be a lot. There'd be a giant database.
Giant.
So I've often thought that's interesting, because I think what used to happen with recommendations in the more basic days, I'm assuming, were more artist driven. So like if you liked Ed Sheeran, it would recommend more Ed Sheeran songs, and people, because there's no that's not a complicated thing to imagine either.
Yeah.
Like if you like these 3 artists and I like these 3 artists, there's a good chance that some of the other ones might mix as well, especially if they're of a similar style, or hundreds of other people who like these as well.
So there's actually a second algorithm where it's called the natural language processing system. And so Spotify actually bought this software from another company, or bought it this company or whatever. I can't remember the name of it right now, or I didn't write it down, so there's no chance I'd ever remember it. But what it does is this software, it creates a word bank for each artist. I think this one's more artist specific rather than songs. And based on the word bank it creates, like it has like splits it up to like adjectives, nouns that you'd use to describe this band. So if like, say like something like ABBA, they used like poppy or like bubbly or something like that. It would
Disco.
It takes
more moods or genres, or both.
I think it's like beyond. Like they used ABBA specifically, and I think one of the words was even Swedish. So like it's beyond. Like it goes quite deep, and so it finds artists that have those similar keywords, and based on that,
right, they
also recommend.
Now, are these, the thing I would want to know are like the tags.
It's basically making tags.
Would those be artist created, or like AI, or like how would they be created? Because that would, just like in YouTube, when you create your own tags, like you're kind of tailoring it.
It's this program searches the web for anything it can possibly find on the artist. And so if you're listening to if it finds a written review about the artist, if it finds, I don't know what else. I'm blanking on
so it's a type of AI basically.
Yeah.
That would just,
well, it makes a key. So, but like,
yeah, but there's a technical term for like a program that scours the web and adds things to it. But now we call that AI. But
so, and then along with that, in the third algorithm, which is called sonic profiles, that's kind of how they do it. But sonic profiles is literally Spotify. However they do it, they must have some kind of giant engine, listens to the music and it breaks it down by tempo, key, time signature, like literally like the profile, like the sound profile of it.
Yeah.
It then categorizes it according to that and finds other songs that are similar like that. So if you find so it's like, obviously you can get songs that are in the same time signature, same key and that, but be drastically different. Then it brings in that natural language processing, which describes the artist as, well, okay, this one is very moody, very whatever.
Yeah.
This one is bubbly. Obviously, then the algorithm wouldn't pull them together because it doesn't match. But if it finds someone with the same kind of sonic profile, and then people are writing it as the same, and then it finds that it's called collaborative filtering. Sorry, it was the first algorithm.
Okay.
It uses all three of those, and that's how you get your Discover Weekly.
Right.
So
that's interesting, and it actually kind of makes sense because I haven't personally found a lot of success listening to Discover Weekly
because you're weird.
because I'm weird, and that makes sense. I wouldn't like. I can actually like a song for the story behind it, or just the words, not even like the music, and like so for reasons that are not mathematically or consistent.
Hence the poopy butt cheeks.
For sure. Check them out. I already forget the name already.
Toilet bowl cleaners.
Toilet bowl cleaners. I mean, I think it's only one guy too.
Oh, okay.
That's great. It's great family fun.
So yeah, there's like a release radar and Discover Weekly, and those are very curated and that. But
so have you found much success with Discover Weekly, or have you used it much?
I don't use it much.
No.
So
where I've actually had the best success finding new artists personally would be again going back to me just like working and having I'm gonna put the garbage out. Working away on one monitor and having just like YouTube going on my second monitor, and every so often I'm just listening to it, I don't like it, I just skip it, whatever. But having the video attached to it, you can kind of get an enhanced version of those songs. Because Spotify can sometimes fall a little flat because, again, I'm so interested in the other elements of a song as opposed to just musically. Like it's a lot deeper for me. It's same as but it's a lot less deep for me for movies. Like I'll like a movie and I just like a movie because it's entertained me. Whereas music's not quite like that for me. So that's where these algorithms probably wouldn't, I've never really had much success. I found music for sure on Spotify, but it's usually I'm just poking around an artist and I see a song featured by another one and I'll click them and work my way that way. But
so the biggest way I usually find it is the already curated playlists. Something if it's says chill mix or whatever.
I know a lot of people use those. Yeah. Just mood mixes.
Yeah. But then the other thing that we kind of talked about it earlier where about listening to classical music and that. Have you ever seen the daily mixes?
Yeah. It's 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 sometimes. Yeah.
I think I have up to 6 and I have no clue why. And I don't listen to them a whole lot, but it's funny because I was talking about when I used to study in that and listen to classical music, there's a daily mix there that's been on Spotify since I've had Spotify 7 years now, something like that, that still has, it's just classical music or John Williams soundtracks. And so it's, yeah, it's just funny that.
Yeah, it's interesting. A couple times the Discover Weekly worked really well for me, or the daily mixes. But other times it's a lot of songs from artists that I already listened to that I've essentially rejected because I don't like the song. One that sticks in my mind. So the artist Lecrae, I've listened to him a bunch of times. There's a couple times where I don't like all of his songs, and so sometimes there'll be one that comes up in the daily mix, and I'll be yeah, okay, I like the artist. I can see why you think I'd like this song, but it just falls flat for me personally. But so it's I don't know, but it's also there's probably an element of in the moment as well. Like, depends on how you're feeling, depends on how you discover it. Like, if you're, you're going through a rough time and you hear a song that's kind of talking about the problems you're going through, like that might relate to you more than another song. So like, I can see how it would be very personal, very time appropriate, very very difficult to do that. But yeah, it is interesting. I mean, in theory, it makes sense for sure. And I think probably for most people, that would make a lot of sense.
You think it would have to be so much more, like, I was like looking up, like, what other stuff has like algorithms like this? And I didn't realize, like, YouTube obviously has a recommendation algorithm, which I find doesn't always work the greatest, because it's if I watch a video or like I watch a couple videos by one creator, it's literally that's all that they'll recommend to me afterwards, which is annoying.
I guess the thing with, I think what sets YouTube apart a little bit, and they don't have to have these advanced algorithms because you're filtering by thumbnails, right?
Yeah.
Whereas you're just seeing the titles of songs, unless something literally says poop in the title, like you're not going to be drawn to the titles necessarily. Yeah. So you'll be drawn to the artists, but even that's not perfect. But whereas YouTube, we all do filtering just as you're scrolling through the list. So there's an element to that. And like, there's been plenty of times where like my wife and I will be like watching YouTube at night and whatever, and you'll see the related, something will catch her eye and I'll be like, I don't even know why that would catch your eye. And it was something else would catch mine. So like, that's how you'd go about discovering new music and stuff, just through the thumbnails, which, as much as we don't like to think that we would judge a book by its cover type thing, but like totally, of course we do. Like, there's a visual element, like that, either that music video looks interesting or that artist, whatever. Yeah. So,
The last thing about it that was like kind of blew my mind when I was like watching videos and that about all these algorithms that you kind of don't think about, but obviously it's a thing, is Amazon has its own recommendation algorithm. And it's just like, there it's like, oh, I feel like, I mean, obviously I've probably fallen for it and all that and been like, oh.
Amazon Prime or music?
No, Amazon, like the retail, like the online retailer, like,
okay.
Like how many times have we probably bought something because Amazon has this algorithm figured out? Like, I like.
That's again where I'm an anomaly. I don't get sucked in by that stuff. Well, I do, but I know what you mean. Like,
I mean, yeah, I'd probably go on Amazon mostly because I know there's something that I need.
Yeah, you're looking for something specifically,
but
for sure. Yeah, no, I always joke about it because like commercials don't really do a lot for me because I'm not an impulse buyer.
No,
or at least I've trained myself not to be. At least as I generally am. The interesting thing about Amazon too is the advertisers do that. That's where like I don't know if it's true or not, but people assume phones are listening to you for advertising purposes. I also think it's possible that they're just so good at knowing A to B. Like if you're looking at chainsaws, you're probably going to look at this too. And like
looking at chainsaws. That's an example.
I mean, it's what happened to me.
What did it bring you to?
Whippersnippers.
Oh, okay.
Weed whackers, whatever. But no, like you're looking at something, it's very likely that people of similar interests who look at this are also going to look at this, or at least will be attracted to this and buy it. So, I mean, it's kind of like at some point they have so much data on how people think and work and progress. Although it's not perfect, it can't be perfect. It's like if 90% of the time or 60% of the time even, that's a great number to have as opposed to just taking a shot in the dark.
Yeah.
So, no, it's interesting. This stuff's fascinating. I mean, I guess I'm also saying I don't really find it works much for me in some areas, but at the same time, maybe it's working the exact bell curve amount of times. Like, you know what I mean? Like, it's not going to, the goal wouldn't be to hit every time. Like it'd be impossible. So it's like 20% of the time it hits. Well, maybe that's perfectly average for everybody.
Yeah.
So.
Oh my goodness.
Yeah. I think that's what I'm thinking we should, have you ever watched that?
I'm pretty sure I've seen that.
Okay. It's not really music related. Well, it is in the fact that he makes a guitar.
Oh, it's
wires.
wires across like a board. Yes, him. Yeah. Yes.
I haven't watched it in a while.
I haven't watched the whole thing. I've just seen him plug it in and then strum it.
Okay, we're gonna watch it then. Frig off. Okay, so this video is called "How Not to Make an Electric Guitar." It's by a pretty popular YouTuber, ElectroBOOM. It's pretty funny, but
I feel like saying the title, everyone knows exactly what video you're talking about.
Probably. But let's
Hi,
watch it.
how to make an electric guitar? Well, I don't know, but from the name of it, it's just a combination of guitar and electricity. Here's a simple one I made. Here's the basic electric guitar I made with 4 strings. We can add more strings if you
Is this
want
guitar
to.
strings?
Strings
No.
are just wires
No.
stretched over a piece of wood, tied to nails on each end. The wires at this end are tied together in pairs, as you can see, and each
gotta
pair
pause it
is
for a second.
attached
Yeah.
I once made a rat trap.
Oh my goodness, Adam!
I was like 12 years old.
I don't think you're
had-
supposed to. You shouldn't say this out loud.
I will, because I was like 10 or 12 or
Oh,
whatever.
That's
So,
even worse.
I was sitting at my computer at my child home, and out the window I kept seeing these tunnels being created around our house.
So this is like the psychologist, like the child psychologist. Like, do you ever wonder if you could kill a person? Okay.
And no animals were harmed in the talking of this video.
Okay.
So anyway, I saw these tunnels going, and I'm like, geez, like if we could just set a trap like in these tunnels, they're traveling. I don't even know what they were. It could have been rats. I don't know what they were. And anyway, they would just like going around. And so I took a 2-liter pop bottle and I cut off both ends of it. So it was a tunnel. And I took an extension cord and pulled it apart and wired the top in a coil and the bottom in a coil. So when the
It would
animal
create the
passed through,
circuit.
it would pass the circuit. I put it together. I plugged it in. I think I threw something in it for a gag, whatever, and popped a breaker and that sort of thing. But anyway, that's what it reminds me of, right? Because it's
Okay.
essentially what he's created here, right? It's 2 circuits
Yeah.
almost touching.
Yes.
Anyway, we know where it's going.
Yeah.
Okay, let's play again.
one of these cables, which we can plug them into the wall power plug.
There's a switch on that cord.
Please join me for the first time to hear how it sounds. And 1, 2, 3, 4.
Goodness.
It definitely made me sound like a rock star, although it feels more like an electric chair than a guitar. It is extremely dangerous to touch the 110 volt or 220 volt power lines. You can easily get killed. And believe me, nothing's worth touching a power line. When touching a power line, a few different things
Public
can
service
happen.
announcement.
Oh yeah.
If you're wearing your plastic slippers that isolate you from ground,
I think he
and
means
touch the
rubber,
live
doesn't he?
wire,
Probably.
you still feel it, although it's not too bad. Because although you are DC isolated, you are not completely AC isolated, as there is still some capacitance between your body and ground. In some cases, due to the shock and the pain, your body can react fast. If you touch the live and neutral wires both, it's very dangerous because
it
the
hurts
circuit
so bad.
closes through your body. Your muscles can contract, this allowing you to
He's
let
gonna
go.
punch himself in the face.
If the current goes through your vital organs like your heart or peanut brain, you will very likely meet your maker.
I am your father.
I don't get it. What's the reference?
Margaret Thatcher? The funny thing is that they use electricity to save a cardiac arrest victim. Clear! What the f? If you are barefoot and touch the live wire, the current can again go through your body to ground and kill you. It can also contract your leg muscles and make you jump.
This,
That's pretty fun. But
yes. I mean, all of it when he's.
Oh yeah.
When he was.
I thought
Yeah.
I could share my
Slapping the counter, you can't fake that. It's got in it.
I mean, he's holding it there.
Got to unplug the damn thing. It definitely made me behave like a rock star though. Makes me think of the similarities.
He went to rehab the next day after that.
Oh really?
Yeah.
Justin Bieber, mother. It's a joke.
feel like that guitar was really strong.
It's obvious the problem is the electric guitar. Don't use the guitar.
All right. Anyway, that's a great video. Like, you really only need the first few seconds of it.
Yeah.
To get
Yeah.
get the laugh for sure. But yeah, I remember the first time I saw that. This was, I mean, I guess it looks like it's about 5, 6, 7 years ago, something like, or 9 years ago.
9 years ago.
I probably saw it around that time maybe, and I didn't know he was like a really intelligent guy. I thought he was just like always getting really close to making an electric device, whatever, and would fail, sort of thing. But
I remember there was one that I saw that was a seat warmer or something like that. Like basically the same thing, live wires that he put on like a plastic chair. And he sat on it, and obviously, yeah.
That's great. So you've never heard Coulter Wall?
No.
Do you listen to any country music at all?
No.
Do you hate country music like a lot of people do?
I'm really not a fan of it.
Okay. So just to preface, this guy is Canadian plus. He's a country artist. I only got into country a few years ago. I hated country music for years. I always thought of country music as you turn on the radio, local radio, country music, and it was just like that half pop, half like.
Oh yeah.
And I was just like, I don't want to listen to that crap. It doesn't like it does. I don't enjoy it. But then I started discovering a little bit more and more like more independent, more classic rock. Sorry, like classic country. I'm still not quite a Johnny Cash fan, totally like that type of. Like
right.
I'm not quite there yet, but like some of the more modern versions of that and stuff, I've been really enjoying a lot. But anyway, let's listen to this, and we'll see. We'll start it.
Is he always very like acoustic or?
Yeah, not always, but he's big into the simplicity of music.
Yeah. Because he only has that kick.
Yeah.
And
he's a fantastic guitar player too. There's a lot of stuff going on there.
I think the thing is the twang of his voice is gonna.
Well,
Oh, okay. No,
Reverend, please come quick.
No, I like this more than like. There's not like that like.
Yeah.
'Cause I got something to admit. I met a man out in the sticks, a good old miss. He drove a Series 10 Cadillac and wore a cigar on his lip. Don't you know the devil?
Let's put the deepest
wears
voice
a suit
I've ever
and
heard in
tie.
music.
Told him driving down the 61 in early July. White as the cotton field and sharp as a knife. I heard him howling as he passed me by.
I would never think of this as country.
Yeah, I don't know my genres very well, but this is like folk.
Well,
He said,
I mean, I guess that's wrong that I said that. I can believe that that's country, but I mean, there's stuff that I listen to that's like blues and that, and I know they're like so closely related. But I would, if you didn't tell me that was country, I would think, oh, it's just blues.
Yeah.
I mean, there's a little like, I mean, some of the.
I mean, the cowboy hat gives it away.
Yes, yeah.
But yeah, I know what you mean.
well, let me learn you some. I know a few tunes to make all the girls dance.
I just really want to know if his actual voice is like that, or if that's just his singing voice.
That's his actual voice.
Oh yeah.
He talks. It's not super deep, but like it's raspy and well, it's definitely deeper than the average. But.
Yeah.
Cotton field and sharp as a knife. I heard him howling as he passed me by.
So he's considered to be like a modern day Johnny Cash or modern day blanking on some of the older artists, but like just he brings back the older style, the older feel, the older lyric. He does. He has one song where it's like a murder ballad.
Oh yeah.
Like that's an old undiscovered art, or like an unutilized art nowadays, it seems. But
Yeah.
I love his guitar playing too, and the twanginess of his guitar is really good too.
Yeah, that's the thing. It's the twanginess of his guitar would like differentiate it from
Yeah.
what I would think of as blues.
That man's lessons, how to price the sweet price.
I understand that there's
My sweet soul,
like some post
everlasting.
editing or like reverb on the mic and that, but it does not look like he can create
Yeah,
that
I know.
sound.
Yeah. He's a small man too, like meaning from what I've gathered, like he's not
Like
he's not very tall or big or like
Yeah.
what you traditionally think of someone with that voice.
So I'm driving down the 61 in early July. Wide as the cotton field and sharp as a knife. I heard him howling as he passed me by. Well, the devil wears a suit and tie. So I'm driving down the 61 in early July. Wide as the cotton field and sharp as a knife. I heard him howling as he passed me by.
yeah, I could be a fan of him.
Yeah. So
But I know what you mean, like it's not like the pop country
Yeah.
that you hear on the radio. Yeah.
it's
like,
the older style with a modern twist. So like my dad would listen to, you know, like Johnny Cash and some of the older artists and stuff like that. I just keep saying Johnny Cash, but again, I'm blanking. But he's got some fantastic. Tyler Childers is another one actually who has sort of similar feel.
That name sounds familiar, but I don't listen to him either. This Coulter Wall makes me think of Ben Kaplan. Well, this might not be the best recording, but he's got the same like voice. He's more like blues and like I don't even know what else.
I think I actually just watched a video on this guy last night.
Oh yeah,
I think
he came to
looked a lot like.
Parkendale Hall like
Oh really?
a few years like before he like got really big. He's got like the raspy voice and that. But yeah, he went to Parkendale Hall, and I never went and saw him, and I was so mad that I didn't go.
They had some pretty decent artists go to that place.
I know.
It's great.
He plays in bigger venues now, but I think he purposely chose that spot because of the aesthetic of it. But if you look at this guy,
Yeah. He's like a hairier Crowder.
do you get much hairier than Crowder though?
This guy. Yeah, he's got a more blues feel than country, just in the rhythm.
Yeah.
They keep telling me that I'm just a baby, baby. Why do I feel so old?
When he has his band backing him and that, he has like a clarinet player, which plays like that melody that he just sang there, which is just, it's so cool to listen to. I love it.
But I see different in the blue light. There is no such thing as a dawn or a dusk. It's daylight until it is night. You gotta fight through the dim end.
Yeah, I think of when you showed me Coulter Wall, I thought of him.
Yeah, he's a little less yelly,
Coulter Wall. Yeah.
You gotta fight against the dim end. You gotta
I feel like his vocal cords would be destroyed after a night of playing.
He looks like someone who probably doesn't take care of himself anyways.
Yeah.
And he probably
It's just natural flavor.
But well, I mean, like, it's obviously like an aesthetic that he's like
Yeah.
made, but he looks like he probably chain smokes and drinks and all. Awful assumptions to be making, but like he just seems like someone who probably, that's the aesthetic that he's made. I'm sure he seems like a serious artist in that he does.
He's got some rock feel there. The power chords, the dream on, dream. Doesn't sound like that.
Yeah, all this like melody singing, his band backs him on it, and it's a clarinet, and it's great. I love it.
Okay, I'll definitely have to look into it more.
Which again, you think clarinet? How often do you hear that in like?
Sea on my way to the ocean. Let the spirits swallow me. I got low down in the water. I let the current guide my bones. I got 9 kinds of trouble. I'm just trying to find my way home. Find my way home. Find my way home.
Do you hear something?
Find my way.
Is a bird picking at your door?
Yeah, I don't know.
Just in the video.
I don't think it was because I was hearing it out of this ear.
Oh yeah, I was hearing it this year, so that makes sense. Yeah, I like it. It's a little. I like the style and everything. In that particular recording, felt a little too screamy after a while for me. But if again, it's like anything. Like if I grow to learn more about this artist, and I like a lot of his songs, and like I could learn to appreciate all of the songs a lot more. Like there's in one song in particular, speaking of Rick Rubin, I listened to a podcast where he talked about the Avett Brothers who did No Hard Feelings. He did that recording with them, and they put like so much emotion into their music, and like he was talking about like whatever, and so up until that point I heard that song before, and I was like, okay, it's pretty good, but it's not one I would listen to much. And then after I heard the description, I went back and listened to it. I'm like, yeah, okay, I could see it a little bit. A couple more times I would listen to it, and I was like, it's one of my favorite songs by them now. But it was more than just the music. Like the music is like, now I think it's great, so I can't go back to remembering when I didn't think it was, but like the music didn't draw me in. It was the emotion behind when you actually read the lyrics, and that would be a great song. I mean, I don't want to turn this into like too serious, like listening to serious songs all the time. But lyrically, it's basically about, when you die, let's not have any hard feelings towards each other. Like this is all going to go away, and it's dealing with death and coming to terms with it, and clean up your relationships, that sort of stuff. But it's such a powerful, amazing song. But I didn't really like it, and now it's one of my favorites. Like it's interesting, and maybe I'm unique, maybe I'm not, but it's just like it's interesting how music and I suppose even movies can do that. So, do you have any more?
I got nothing else now.
Great time for another ad.
Oh, okay, yeah. We're gonna
Screw the same ad a bunch of times.
We're gonna drive everybody away because of that ad.
Well, I mean, THA Games. It's such. I mean, like they mean a lot to us.
Yeah.
They kind of a special place right here. Just check them out on Kickstarter, but we'll run the ad.
Yeah. Okay.
Maybe we'll see. All right. Well, since Kyle's not here, I think we should do the classic Star Wars.
No.
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 You want to sing the poop song out?
No.
Want to make up our own poop song? It sounded like it was striking a chord with you.
That was the one that maybe I would say yes to.
Okay, what element of pooping? Dog poop.
No, okay, no, I wasn't really serious about it.
We need an instrument.
We need like a song to just play us out so we can fade to black or something like that.
Maurice? No, we don't do that. I'll get a little bass going here. Little drum beat. Dog poo.
Perfect.
On the street.
Okay, I'm stopping the recording.
Dog poop.
Yep. Okay.
Looking at me.
Okay.